Texas was part of Mexico back in the 60s.
I don't believe that's true. In the 1960s.
A few years ago, yeah.
A few years ago.
And Joe Rogan came and they were like, okay, we'll make it.
Now it's
American.
He got them their freedom. Have you ever had a question you wanted to ask the opposite race, but you were too nervous to ask?
I'm Turner Sparks.
And I'm Phil Duckett.
And this is Black and White Advice.
Where we answer all your questions about race, even the scary ones.
This is Black and White Advice.
You've got a question, but you're scared to ask. Just drop the boys a message, cause they're up to the task. They're rolling the dice, they ain't always nice, but you can't think twice and get it. Black and White Advice. Black and White Advice.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm Turner Sparks.
The real deal, Phil the Thrill.
What's up? Episode 14. We got a great show today. We got Martin Urbano coming up in just a minute. We got Joe, the Muscle Russell, on the ones and twos.
What's up?
We got a real microphone this time.
Yeah.
And we got a new setup in the studio. So hopefully, it's cramped in here.
It's still better than our knees touching the whole fucking 45 minutes. I prefer.
You mean the
this.
last two episodes we recorded? When
Every episode, our knees rub. It's very.
Yeah,
very,
we doubled. It's the same size room, but we doubled the size of the table.
I think it was smart doing the separate table.
Here's the lesson. We got to get out of here. We need to get to a real podcast studio, and there's only one way to do
Rome wasn't built in a day. We're already fucking growing the Patreon. We're so close to hitting our first goal, which terrifies the fuck out of me because.
If you don't know, here's the goal. When we get to $250 in Patreon subscriptions, I'm taking Phil to his first punk rock concert. We're putting him in the mosh pit. We're going to dress him up punk. Whatever that means these days.
When I was
a
young boy,
not emo.
my father.
Your reference is always emo. We're going hardcore.
That's all I keep thinking of.
We're going NYC hardcore, the straight edged D-bags.
That's how I know I don't know the difference between emo and punk. Like, it's all just thoroughly white to me.
You're
so
about
I'm
to
like,
know.
oh.
We're now at $56 in pledges. We started this a week ago or 2 weeks ago or something. We have 4 subscribers. 4 people, $56. It's pretty good. I want to shout them out. So we got, first of all, who do we have? Tug,
the original OG.
the original, the Tugboats.
The first one.
Is the name of the community right now. If you put in $20, you get to name the group. They're the Tugboats. We have my dad, Gary Sparks.
What up, Big G?
G Unit. We got Fun Kilo just joined this week.
Fun Kilo?
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's subscribed. Oh.
I don't know what you're into.
Now we're talking Phil's
I'm not mad
language.
At you, you know?
And a new $20 a month there. We got Will Prechuck, and he says he's ready to rename the name of the group.
Let's rewind that. I don't know what that means. We're talking Phil's language, all right? I've smelled Coke like 4 times.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
So let's not just put it out there like I'm Pablo. But, yeah, I do. I respect the craft, you know.
Respect the drug snorting crap.
I respect the craft, you know.
Anyway, point is, Will Prechuck's in for 20.
All right.
And he said he's ready to rename the group. So he had three suggestions on the name of our fan group, and then fan club. We can call them whatever we want, but these are our top 3. Ready? He said one option. So they're no longer called the Tugboats.
Okay.
They can either be Speed Racers, they can be Rat Beef Rubberneckers, or Gentry Fires.
You know which one I'm going for. Because I'm going to be honest, the second one sounded like you was getting real close to saying so I didn't really know the Roughneck or Rubbleneckers. I was like, okay.
I think we're going Gentry Fires.
The Gentry Fires is hard. What's up, boy?
Fire as in Fires?
Yeah.
Named after your special?
Gentry Fires. That's wordplay right
Should
there.
that stay
what
forever?
Was his name again?
Will Prechuck.
Will Prechuck, my boy. What up, Nick?
Give it to him. Why not?
I told him if you pay $20, I'm gonna call you my. And that's just how that goes.
Will Prechuck. All right, so we got the Gentry Fires. We're at the $56 a month, which means we're $194 away from Phil getting in a mosh pit. Are you gonna get out of chair?
It's
metal
gonna be
chair?
a steel cage match. I'm going WWE. I'm gonna break somebody's face. What are you talking about? First mosh pit? I'm gonna try to punch somebody right in their shit.
All right, now let's get to the show. Oh wait, and then I'm gonna be on the road, Provo, Utah, February 1st, and we're Newport Richey, Florida, February 8th. Stay away from that.
Because a lot got edited out of that last one.
No. We'll do it on the Patreon bonus content. So I'm going to Provo to shoot a dry bar comedy special. We talked about that last episode. Phil immediately started talking about Mormons. We had to cut it all out of the episode. But we'll talk about it on the Patreon. So for all of our Patreon subscribers, if you join now at the end of this episode, stick around. All right. We have a great guest today, everybody. This guy, he's absolutely hilarious, performs all over the place. He has a new comedy special out, available right now on YouTube. It's called The Apology Comeback Tour. Martin Urbano, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
What's going on, Vato?
How you
Nothing
doing,
much.
man?
Chilling. Yourself?
Yeah, all right. I mean, listen, I'm going to Provo, Utah, so life's good.
That's exciting. Congrats.
Have you
yeah.
been?
Never
They don't
been.
let us in
I
there.
don't
They
think
don't
they would
let us in
Yeah,
there.
This is my
they wouldn't
first
like
time.
me.
They gonna
Oh, wait, no,
love
I've been to the airport. I've Salt Lake City. If you have the Delta
frequent
flight.
Utah. Let's not do that.
It's my first
It's
time.
the motherland.
It's my first.
You can't say you've been to the airport and say it's your first time.
Okay, well, I've been to Frankfurt Airport in Germany, but I wouldn't say I've
Me too.
been to Germany. Really? Oh. It's where. There you go.
And so that means I've been to Germany.
Do you
No,
say
where were
you've
you
been to
going?
Germany?
I went to this small town in Germany called Saarbrücken. Saarbrücken, I believe it's spelled, but Saarbrücken. I'm probably butchering it.
What for?
So back when I was a whore, I had a sugar mama, and she had meetings in Europe. So she flew me out there to fuck her in between her meetings.
That's awesome.
You know, that was back in my
That's
2017.
Wow.
Which, can you believe that was 8 years ago? I was like, yeah, a few years ago. I'm like, that was 8 years ago.
That was 2017.
That was in 2017.
Oh, I knew you then. I didn't know you were doing that well.
I was homeless. You think I just thought I was just gonna fucking go to the wayside?
We were at the Lantern in
Back then,
2017.
yeah, that's when we were performing at the
Where were
Lantern.
you in 2017? Were you here in New York? You were, right?
I was. That's when I was doing my Kimmel set. That was a
Yes!
highlight, and it's just been all.
Everybody
kinda
go watch the
down
Kimmel set.
since
It's
then.
absolutely hilarious. You do what's it called? Where you get the paper out. What are those things called?
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs.
Yeah.
And the reveal is that you're a sexual predator.
Yeah.
It's really fantastic.
That was
On
a good
Not
year.
right now. He's a what?
On Kimmel.
That was a good year.
So
man.
your whole is that still that's still part of the act, right? That you're his character on stage, Phil,
He's a pedophile.
is a registered sex offender, and throughout the
This
set,
is a character
Please.
you chose.
The proper term is.
You
Come on.
picked this character.
Yeah.
I thought that's what they labeled you, but he was like, "No, I
so
chose this."
funny.
I'm gonna go check that out. For
And
sure.
it's also like you prefer. It's a jolly character, so it's like a happy-go-lucky pedophile. Is how I would
yeah,
explain it. Is that right?
That's accurate. Yeah.
It's like giggling through, revealing that he can't go near school zones.
Oh my, yeah, I'll have to go check that out.
You gotta watch it.
ridiculous.
And you're from Texas, Austin,
Yeah.
and you're Mexican, not Indian, right? Like that's the whole.
It felt racist.
It's
Yeah, I have a
fun.
bit.
It felt racist.
Oh yeah, without watching the set, you don't know what I'm
So
talking
he's like, "You're
about.
Mexican, not Indian, right?"
Yeah.
In the act, Phil. In the act, you go back and forth.
Again,
Out of context, my act sounds insane, but it makes sense when you watch the piece.
I am. I'm definitely no. I'm gonna watch it when I'm at home because now I gotta see it. It sounds crazy, guys, but it's all in good fun.
He's a Mexican, maybe Indian pedophile.
All right, I like that. That's what's up. Do you when you did the Kimmel show, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did your touring increase? Did that like open up a lot of doors for you? Like, did you see that immediately? Or?
Yeah, that was a big year. I got to do Bonnaroo. I got to do.
You did
I did
Bonnaroo?
Bonnaroo. Yeah, before I don't know if they do comedy there anymore, but for a while they did. And they used to have like a tent, and then it was like now you're going to perform at random barns, and now they just got rid of it. They're like, no one comes
What
to
was
Bonnaroo
comedy like
for
at
comedy.
Bonnaroo?
It was fine, but people were just like hanging out there at like 2 p.m. Be like, okay, I kind of want to go party now.
Right.
But it was so fun because we got to be treated like rock stars.
Right.
Like they like drove us around. We got to go to the VIP, hang out like backstage, like
Who else
at
is
the
there, like,
Killers
Green
and
Day and stuff.
the Killers, Eminem, Sheryl Crow.
Yeah,
Kicked it with Slim Shady.
Yeah, no, not
I thought
him, but
Slim was like, yeah,
No.
so we're gonna do a couple oxys.
at that was like the closing night, so I was
Got you.
busy.
And you guys are in. Are people seated? Or
Yeah,
they
it was like in a
just
barn. People were sitting on the ground
That's
for like one of the shows.
I was thinking like how they do like there's
Yeah.
just an open field of standing. I was like, that's gotta
Nah.
be tough for a comedy, but
I think Adam Devine, he opened for a band. I forget which band, but he was just kind of like shouting and the audience would cheer.
Yeah,
It's like not
it's
really
just,
stand up at that point.
gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
When I moved here, I remember everyone's credit was Adam Devine's house party.
Yeah.
And me and Joe Schaefer had just moved here, and we've been living out of the country for 12 years. We didn't know who Adam Devine was or what his house party was, but we were hosting all over town, and everyone told us they wanted, like, how do you want to be brought up? You always ask. And they go, oh, just Adam Devine's house party. And after like a month, Schaefer goes, dude, who the fuck is this guy with the house party?
Wait, clarity.
He's like, how famous is this person that their house party is a credit? And then we found out it was a TV show.
That would probably throw me off. I wasn't in country. But did you say Adam Levine or Adam Devine?
Is it
The one
Devine?
from
The Workaholics guy.
Okay,
Yeah.
for a minute, I'm like, he opened for somebody from Maroon 5. I was like, wow, Bonnaroo must have been killing that year. Okay, he was the funny guy from Workaholics. Okay, I mean, yeah, everybody was in on that, but I don't remember being that many comics on that.
Yeah, they might have been.
They were all I was like,
That's how everyone
it was
wanted
a
to be.
decent amount, but it wasn't that many.
It was the clubs.
At the
and
Lantern?
It was the clubs and colleges of that time. You've seen him at clubs and colleges.
Gotcha.
You've seen him on Adam Devine's house.
Like, nobody's gonna check.
Devine or whatever. Yeah. What was so you started in Austin, right?
I started
comedy or
in
no?
Texas, but a lot of formative years in Austin. This was 2013 to
Prior to Joe
2016,
Rogan even sleeping.
way before any of
So how
it.
many
Yeah,
clubs were there at that time? One?
there was two. It was Cap City and Velveeta Room, which is Velveeta Room's smaller one on like 6th Street, which is a big party street.
Yeah.
Have you been to Austin?
Oh, yeah, I've been to Austin. I never performed there, but it is a fun turn-up town. But
It's a good time. Yeah, you go to 6th Street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those cowboy boots on them women.
Yeah.
You got me a spot at Cap City.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got me like a
Who's show?
Wednesday. He has no idea.
You
got me.
Really sweet me.
Who
It
was
like
it?
a
Who was
Wednesday
it?
night show, and the host is a radio DJ in town or something.
So it was Punch. Might have been Tuesday's show.
Maybe
right?
it was Tuesday.
Yeah.
It was packed.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah, Punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
It's one of those times you show up in a town, you
Good
do
for me.
7 minutes, and you're like, I think I'm okay.
Yeah,
That was a good show.
And then you come back to New York and bomb at the Lantern.
Right.
yeah.
Light Shade 3.
Do you go back there now and do comedy?
You know, I taped my special there at Moon Tower.
I heard Moon. Okay.
Yeah, and that was
What's it like now?
interesting.
What's the
It was
Rogan?
interesting.
What's like the Rogan world like now?
It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe comedically.
'Cause it was
My
totally-
weird stuff was a lot more like that's where I like developed it,
Weird.
and then now it feels a little bit more bro-y, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff there was a disconnect for sure.
God.
Yeah, I'm performing in Brooklyn rooms, and now I'm taking it to this Austin, and it was kind of
Would you
different.
Would you
So
say that
crazy.
the Austin market is like officially oversaturated now with this? Because I hear a lot of like young comics who aren't getting booked. They're like, I think I'm moving to Austin.
Oh,
I'm like,
everyone.
you're not funny in New York or Austin, so it really don't matter. You can go wherever.
It's
you
a
know?
new option, but I don't know what it's going to be like. Again, that was like my only experience with it. I hadn't been back in years. Just
and when you
taping
were
my
doing
special.
it, so my impression when I went to go and I was performing in Austin was it was like a quirky, creative scene of comedy.
At that time.
Yeah, like this was I don't know 2018 or 17 or something.
Yeah.
And it was like very experimental, almost like Brooklyn-y sort of.
Yes.
In a good way. Everybody was unique. Everybody was doing like a totally different crazy thing.
Yeah.
And then now to imagine it being like just Joe Rogan clones,
Yeah.
like who's everybody's trying to be more racist than the next person.
Mm-hmm.
It feels bizarre.
It was, and then like I'm doing like a character kind of making fun of some of that stuff. And
Yeah.
so then people are like, wait, what? We like what you're doing, but also hate it. I don't know. It's-
Yeah, his special's called the Apology Comeback Special. So is this coming back from being a convicted pedophile?
Like
I'm telling
We
you,
gotta
you
stop
see-
calling my boy a pedophile because if
That's
they don't,
the act!
if they're not familiar
That's
with
the
him,
act!
they're gonna be like, why is this guy so proud
Well,
of
get
fucking
familiar with
children?
him. He's hilarious.
I'm just saying, and I'm speaking for the guests who have not seen it. So when you hear this, there's a lot of like, oh.
now you see the problem in marketing this special.
No, he's not actually a pedophile. He just plays one.
Listen,
Yeah,
NBC.
exactly.
This is
Sort of the reverse Crystalia.
Right, okay.
Exactly.
Eric, I like.
yes.
You might have a shot then, buddy. Reverse Chris. That's how you got a picture. Reverse Crystalia. I play pedophile, sweetest guy. That's what's up. Okay, damn.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this is what I want to know. Now, because I've talked to a couple people who've done the mothership. If I don't know, but
Never
they
done it.
told me the pay at the mothership is $1,500 for 10 minutes.
I've heard that.
That's
too.
incredible.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
I would never headline. Just book me for my guest spot open, and I'm here 3 times a week.
That's
That's
amazing.
insane.
Wow.
They said it actually dropped after COVID. They told me, 'cause I don't
sure.
know what it is. But at the beginning.
That's every club. They don't pay you 15 minutes for 10 minutes or 15.
Oh, anywhere else, but at the mothership, yeah. I mean, and then you start doing 30s and stuff. You're talking $4 or $5 grand. Like that's,
I've heard that.
Yeah, so that's how it was, and so they said they've decreased it a little bit. But even if you decreased it by 20%, boys, what are we talking about?
Well, who was I was talking to somebody
Yeah,
on the
that's
road.
awesome.
That's a great life.
I should have done my special there.
Yeah, I was talking to someone, I forget who. Tom Rhodes, I think, and he was telling me that he's been around since like the 80s, and he was like, yeah, you used to get, like whatever, say 2,500 in the 80s to headline a weekend, and now you get whatever you get, Right. But so I just like looked at, and he's like, that's just like someone who can do the time, but you're not famous,
right?
But you can go kill for an hour in a room. So then I just put it into inflation. That would be like $7,000 now.
In the
Wow.
80s.
That would be the equivalent.
Yeah.
What you should be getting now if it stayed just with the price of inflation. That 2,500. Man. Yeah. And so then what Rogan's paying is about right, really.
But that ain't for a weekend. That's for one spot.
That's for one. No, 1,500 for 10 minutes.
It's one spot.
Yeah.
You 2,500 for a headlining weekend.
Yeah.
We're not even playing the same ball game here.
Yeah.
Playing the same game.
So I don't know if all our, we were talking about it off air, but if our audience knows that Brooklyn and Manhattan are like almost two different worlds of comedy. Mm-hmm. Phil and I are mostly in Manhattan. You're mostly in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. But you live in Manhattan, perform over. How do you feel like you go back and forth a lot between the scenes, or like what do you even call them?
The scenes.
I guess scenes, right?
Yeah, I like to do both. I just happen to be in Brooklyn a lot more. I just like get booked there because there's a lot more independent shows.
Yeah.
As opposed to the clubs where you have to kind of go through a booker, right? And that's the thing that I haven't really done at a lot of these places is go through a proper get past somewhere. But all the a lot of comics like me, so they're like, come do my show. I'm like, all right.
I felt like you were at New York and then maybe the booker changed because I remember seeing you in New York. Were you
again just independent shows?
Gotcha,
like it's just if somebody has one that they want me to be on. I was just there the other day on my friend Andrew and Michael's show. They do Steve Martin Presents. They were doing it for New York Comedy Fest,
okay.
And it was a great show, and I loved that room. But I don't know. I should probably ask around and be like, how do I get an email or whatever? But I don't know. I'm shy
here in Brooklyn, and I'm sure there's shows happening around me all the time. But it's the same with the opposite. Like I could probably just ask people.
Yeah.
There's probably 3 shows on my block that I don't know about.
Yeah, like I'm with him. If somebody like one of my homies is a producer, a comic that produces, and they're like, "Yo, come to Brooklyn, do my." Of course, I'm not gonna miss it.
Yeah,
but for me to just come to Brooklyn and hang out and find spots, it's never gonna happen. It's too far. And just if I'm being honest, I don't like Brooklyn shows. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I just don't really like them. If I'll do it because that's my craft, and if I'm but the scene in Brooklyn is that the people are too fucking soft. They're too fucking woke. They're too fucking politically correct. I'm gonna talk how the fuck I want to talk. If I say this gay ass, then that's what I mean. This gay ass. I don't need you to be like, oh, what did you mean by that? I mean he sucks dick. He's a gay ass. Yeah. I don't. It's way too much in Brooklyn for you to walk on eggshells during shows. I feel like it's too hipster, too Gen Z. And I've had some really good shows, but I've had some shows in Brooklyn where I'm just like, how did y'all get tricked into coming?
I've bombed so hard in Brooklyn.
It's easy to bomb in fucking Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But tested material.
But clearly you
me
have
too.
the opposite experience.
No.
Oh, you know?
Me too. Again. Pedophile, whatever. What did we call me?
That is a hard sell.
What did we call me?
Work here.
So like really, it's
it
like
really does.
sometimes I bomb. I have certain places where I'm like, oh, I'll probably bomb there because the audience just won't get it, or they'll like see red before they can see what jokes I'm actually making.
Yeah,
and that's just kind of a part of it. I think that helps me like navigate it a little bit more performing for these people. I'm like, I know you're not getting it, but let's see how much I can win you over. And then I take it to the crowds that are actually like hip and smart, because to me, hip and smart is like being able to see past, these like, satirical things. Exactly. They get the crowd.
Presenting as a registered sex offender.
Exactly. Like, oh no, but I get it though. So it's, I don't know. It's, I see a mix.
Registered sex offender. That's
they all are. How do you think they stay out so long?
Deep thinker.
The best ones are.
The best ones are.
Yeah. But I think maybe that was, I don't know. That is a sense I get in some rooms where I'm like, oh, these people are like, they're not going to like me because they don't want to like me. Right. But a lot of places kind of the same. And at a lot of clubs, they don't like me either because I'm being a little bit too weird.
Yeah.
And then I lose them who are just like, we just want to like hear more like down the middle stuff. I'm like, oh, well, I don't have that. So it's like,
well, you're not doing like a traditional, like, I saw you one time when you had, I hope I'm not giving away your business. This is from like 7 years ago.
Sure.
So
I'm sure I'm still doing it.
That's my favorite one.
That's my best joke.
I forget what you did, but I remember you pretended like you forgot your material or something like that, and then you got out your notes, and then you're like, I can't even deliver these tonight. Can someone else in the audience tell my jokes? And then you had someone from the audience get up and they're reading your jokes, and then the jokes they're reading were super racist and offensive, and you started heckling. You're like, boo! this person.
That's pretty
Like
funny.
canceling them from the
That's pretty
audience.
funny.
But I could see doing that at a club, like a, I don't know where, like a Manhattan club, and even the crowd would be into it. I don't know who wouldn't like it, actually, now that I say it.
A bit like that requires
Hilarious.
some setup. Like it requires a 15-minute minimum long set. Like, because I need them to already like me and get
You
me.
can't do that in a check spot.
One time I tried to do that at the Houston Improv open mic, like years and years ago, like when I was first starting, and they were just not into it. Like they were just like, "What is it?" I have 3 minutes. I'm trying to like, "Oh, I forgot my jokes," and like
to the
they felt
stage.
bad for
You're
me.
pretending like you're forgetting,
Yeah.
and then they think you're actually forgetting.
And then I finally like rope, because I usually like get like a woman to come on stage, because I think it's better dichotomy. She's saying my jokes so people can't hate her. And a guy comes on to the God mic and he's like, "Ma'am, you can get off stage. His set's done." Okay.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right, that's fair. I learned
That's
a
my
lesson.
time.
I learned a lesson there.
Don't do it at a Houston open mic.
Yeah. Or
Let
just
me
at
tell
a,
you.
yeah.
Mr. Urbano, I'm telling you, your shit might be weird, but you ain't holding a candle to Joe the Muscle Russell over there. By far one of the weirdest comedians I'd ever met. When I first, we tell the story all the time. When me and Joe first met, we did not like each other.
Oh.
I thought he was weird as fuck, and I didn't understand his comedy. I was like, so you just talk about the food you fucking eat all the time?
Hey, does anyone like chips?
Yeah, and I was like, what is this shit? And Joe didn't like me either. And we just grew on each other. When I tell you that's one of my people, I love that motherfucker. But yeah, we did not start off strong. That's it. And so that's why when you say weird, I'm like, it's levels to it. It's levels to it.
Thanks.
I did New York Comedy Club right before, like in December. I headlined my show, and you know how they have, when you headline, you do like 45 or an hour or whatever, and then New York Comedy Club wants to put someone after you to do checks. It's like the ultimate death spot. Everyone came to see the headliner, and so I asked Joe to do it. I was like, "Can you just do a 10-minute check spot?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he's like, "Wait, I have to go after you at the very end?" I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I'm screwing you, but there's like whatever, stage time." So then he goes up, and the first like minute, people are like, "What the F is going on?"
Do you have a favorite food?
He literally just goes up and he goes, "Does anyone have a favorite breakfast item?"
Yeah, and you're seeing it. He was like, oh, he's stroking out.
And also, they're paying their checks, and they're like, "What? Who? We just saw the guy we wanted to see." Like, they're trying to leave. You're like, "No, we saw Turner." Anyway, within like 90 seconds, they start to catch on, and the last 8 minutes is just him destroying.
Once you on board,
The
and
whole
once you give
crowd.
it a shot, but
Yeah.
you got to go in there with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because I really don't want to ruin this bit, but I'm telling you, his San Francisco and boy are my arms gay. I walked out the first time. I said, "What in the fuck was?"
I just flew in from San Francisco, and boy, are my arms gay.
Hey,
There he is. And I literally, the first time I literally turned around and said, "I'm going to the bar." I'm going to the bar. I don't know what the fuck Joe got going on. That's my dog.
All right, should we get to our questions?
Hell yeah.
Listen, so here's the way it works. We got people writing in. I don't know if we told you this, Martin. Listeners writing questions. They need help from a black guy or a white guy or a Mexican
Or
guy
my essay. Is that racist?
from Texas.
He said it.
I don't know. Is it? Oh, it's good. See, there you go.
Whoa.
Can I say it?
Whoa, we didn't go there. Easy.
Turner, come on, please.
Let's dial it back a bit, Turner. Okay.
We will be right back with your black and white advice questions.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Hey, you want to get bonus content, early episodes, and have your questions answered on the show?
Well, then subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/blackandwhiteadvice and subscribe right now.
Do it, and we'll give you a shout out on a future episode.
And I might call you the N-word.
All right, we're back with your black and white advice questions. Question number 1 comes from, here we go, Devin in Atlanta. Devin says, "I'm a black guy, and whenever we start to go bald, we always shave our head. My question is, why?" Phil strokes his head. My question is, why do white guys always keep the hair on the side instead of shaving the full head when they go bald?
I'll start. Because it takes a certain type of scalp to rock a bald head. Number 2, it takes confidence, something a lot of white people lack.
I don't think that's true.
And I think a lot of white people with they don't have the right facial structure. They look like preemie babies when they go bald. So, you gotta do what keeps the pussy up, right?
I think white guys have extreme confidence. But here's what I think it is. I disagree. I think the answer is that all of our heroes, white heroes, have that kind of Friar Tuck haircut. First of all,
they have a comb over. Y'all's heroes have a comb.
Hulk Hogan.
Is he a hero of yours, Turner?
Is he not a hero?
No.
Hulk Hogan's
He
a
became a
hero
hero a few years ago for you, right?
Just recently,
when
3
Trump
months
was
ago,
running,
when he rocked out at the Trump inauguration or whatever that was.
He's a hero of yours?
Dude, I gotta say, when he ripped his shirt off at that Republican convention, I almost just stormed the Capitol. Right there.
It was like he went gay on us.
I almost did. That was pretty cool.
That's wild. I'm gonna tell you, if we're talking heroes, Macho Man's gonna be a hero before Hulk Hogan.
Macho Man's.
Come on.
But I think he was bald too. They all wore those kind of things on their head. Actually,
maybe, yeah, possibly.
All right, so you got Hogan. You got Larry David.
You're naming are these heroes that you're naming?
Jean-Luc Picard. I've done research.
Dude, Jason Statham. All right, he's a bald-headed hero.
I mean, he doesn't have the.
He saved that girl from the trunk of that car.
Does he have the hair on the side?
No, he has a real man scout.
Yeah. I'm trying to answer.
He asked why.
I'm giving you the reason why.
You think that is because all of y'all's heroes do that?
That's what I'm.
You're the first person to name those people as heroes in my life. So I'm like,
Hulk
I don't
Hogan,
know.
Larry David, and Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
So you say confidence. I think that's more entitlement that they have.
And there it is.
And I think there's a little bit more of a fragility behind that. So it's like I'm going to hold on
Real confidence.
dearly.
That's a good point.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
It's like, well, I mean, I deserve everything, but I'm scared to not have
what
this.
if they
And
laugh
what if
at me, right?
exactly?
Even
what if
if
they
it's
laugh
just
at
3
me?
strands.
Yeah, Homer Simpson style. Yeah,
You know who should go bald?
a
and
hero
ain't
of yours.
Homer is.
Homer probably would.
Yeah, he's a
Mr.
hero.
Burns.
Yeah.
All our heroes, Mr. Burns.
Larry David. I'm like, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Nah, if we're talking, most black people, we just, because when I shave my head.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Did Michael Jordan start it? I don't remember any bald black guys before Michael Jordan.
You know, Michael Jordan came to the NBA with hair.
I know.
But you're saying once he shaved it, is that when it got cool?
Yeah.
I think that's when it really became like a iconic pop culture thing.
Yeah.
Because people who weren't even going bald shaved. Because Mike.
Yes.
Be like Mike. I want to be like Mike.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. But I'm going to just put this in. Black man that should shave bald, that won't, Lil Wayne, I love you. You are my all-time favorite. But them 4 dreads you got, baby, it's time.
That's a good list to make. What about LeBron James?
He should go bald.
He needs to go bald.
He got the Turkish transplant, and you can see when he sweats, it poofs up in the fro.
Well, and he has the sweatband.
Let me tell you something.
He was putting it higher and higher to block the.
He doesn't wear the sweatband anymore, butter.
Does he not?
No, it's been years since LeBron wears a headband. But it's okay. I will help you on that.
Who
too.
am I thinking of?
You were thinking of LeBron, and when he first started going bald, he quit.
Yeah,
because he got the hair plugs, and he couldn't do that because it was rubbing the scalp. So, but no, the hair plug. Would you get hair plugs?
No, I don't think so.
No, you just if it started coming out, you just let that shit rock.
Yeah, and I wouldn't shave it. I can't shave because
you pull the Costanza.
Maybe here's the answer. Costanza, that's another hero.
That is the only hero on that list. That is literally the only person you named that is even close.
So my ears are too big to shave my head. I would look like a just straight up circus elephant.
I could actually see that. Now that you mention it.
So
they're elf ears.
My dad has my same ears, and he still has like a 1960s Beatles haircut that comes over the ears because he's so self-conscious. No. He has a full head of hair.
I was like, shit, G.
You got a great head of hair.
Yeah, I'm not in fear of this at all. And in my culture, we just put on a sombrero.
Hey, there you go.
No one's ever gone
Next
bald.
time you go to Austin, you'll see all these guys just walking down the street in sombreros.
Cowboy hats.
Cowboy hats. My grandpa who was balding had a cowboy hat. And that was my plan.
I've always wanted to rock a good cowboy. Like if I moved back down like to that part, like Louisiana, I'd probably rock a cowboy hat.
It's a cool look.
It is such a good look, man.
Yeah.
Especially, man, like it's just, and women love it.
Yeah.
They're like, my God, the confidence.
Yeah. Again, confidence.
Black guy in a cowboy hat, hamburger is pretty great.
What you know about hamburger? Okay. Look at Turner staying up late to watch Comic View.
Hamburger, another hero.
That's a real hero.
That's a real. I hear he still kills.
The undisputed champ. I was just with him at that game with your boy Paul. That celebrity basketball game. Paul
Hamburger played in the game?
Hamburger was one of the coaches.
So New York Comedy Club during the New York Comedy Festival had a basketball game.
Yeah.
And Hamburger
was one of the coaches.
Was he drawing out X's and O's?
No, I went up to him.
Was he saying he's like, all right, you go left, Hamburger.
He wasn't. He walked up to me. He was like, hey, man. You a comedian? Hurtful. But I was like, yeah, man. He was like, yo, what's your number? He's like, I still produce shows in Jersey. I'd love to get you on. I said, Hamburger.
I was walking down the street, Hamburger.
Would you say he was doing a good job, like coaching?
No, he had no idea what was going on.
So you don't think he was like a hamburger helper?
Yeah.
Do you?
And this is what you get from Joe the Muscle Russell. It's always going to go back to food. And so he wasn't a hamburger
Way to
helper.
get to that joke. Jesus. That was a
He had to set me up.
Joe,
went all the way around the city. And
Joe, were you sitting on that, or did you think of it and then say it? I'm so curious.
I thought about 30 seconds before I said it.
The perfect amount of time.
Yeah, it was the perfect amount. He was like,
Perfect
how
amount.
can I incorporate hamburger?
Next question. All right. Jennifer in Dallas. She says, I'm white and my husband is black. When we started
She
dating.
got ass. She in Dallas, Texas with a black husband. That thing is poking.
Hey. When we started dating, I was blown away at how much he and all his friends like old kung fu movies. My question is, why do black guys love kung fu movies so
It was an
much?
error. It was an error. It was just an error. Like, and that's every black person from a certain generation. Like, I missed that era. My uncle and all my big cousins and stuff, they all Dolomite, all those what are they called?
Blaxploitation?
Blaxploitation films. Kung Fu was because Bruce Lee was so big, and so all the black kids growing up used to watch Bruce Lee every Saturday. So they used to do that, and so as they got older, started making movies. They wanted to be able to fight and make it black, but Kung Fu, because just like, and that's just like it's a era thing, like a time era thing. Because my father's generation, my dad's big. He watches John Wayne is his favorite. He watches all the westerns.
Yeah,
that was their
My
generation.
parents too.
Western.
Yeah.
But you get to that people who were born late '60s, around that
like
time.
Gen X.
Yeah, mid '60s, late '60s, when they were like teenagers, kids in the '70s. All Kung Fu is so big in their lives. It's unbelievable. That's not just him. I mean, that's a time thing. You know what I mean?
What about anime? Was that
That's
did
our
that
time.
hit you?
That's our Kung
Yeah.
Fu for our. I hate it. I don't watch the shit, but I know people who go. We were talking about that last episode. Like I had never felt more like a loser than going to a comedy club green room with a bunch of anime watchers. They're like, "Did you see One Piece?" I was like, "She was wearing a One Piece." They're like, "Nah, it's this cartoon." I'm like, "Get some pussy." But no,
Is that only? Yeah, we're saying the green rooms on the road. It's all like anime talk, and then it's big
and food.
Big fat guys with beards talking about food. Like, bro, I just had this great lunch.
Yeah, it's normally somewhere in like Ohio or Indianapolis, and
That's weird. In my green rooms, it's just jerking off. I don't know what.
Well, it's all about who you surround yourself with, you know.
But how did it go? Because I don't know anyone who watched Kung Fu. It just wasn't. It didn't hit my neighborhood.
Do you know older black people in the white neighborhood that had no black people?
No, but that's my
like
question. Why didn't it hit white people? It came from Asia straight to the
Well,
black
it's because y'all
community?
normally do the whooping, so that's why probably y'all weren't into it. It's like,
No, people were into Bruce Lee, but I feel like it just ended at Bruce Lee.
White people watch Bruce Lee and are like, I'll never be athletic enough to do a roundhouse. Black people's like, nigga, I can do that right now.
I think that's what it was.
Good. That's good.
I can do a backflip, round off handspring, front flip kick. And they're like, do it.
Honestly, I think that's the
good.
answer.
Yeah.
It didn't resonate because I didn't think it's like me watching someone do a triple sow count figure skating. I'm like, that's cool, but I got to move on with my
It's
day.
like white dudes watching
I'm not
YouTube
gonna
of
go
dunk
try and
videos.
figure skate.
Y'all will watch LeBron James dunk compilation, but you're like, wow, what an athlete. Black people watch that like, I think I can do that back dunk. You know what I mean? Like, it's a...
No, I was like, I could do that on a mini hoop.
Oh, that's what you thought?
Yeah. Let me go put it on the door of my bedroom.
Yeah, there was
just
so much
rip
dunking
down
going on
the
in the
upholstery.
1950s NBA. All right, listen, no white person sees somebody dunk like, I could probably do that.
No, I'm saying I could do it on my mini hoop.
Oh, you talking about your little stress relief?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every kid's like, there's no thought I could ever do it on a 10-foot hoop. But
Well,
I could do
every
it.
kid. But once you get to a certain age, reality, like, I don't think I could.
Yeah, no, I can never dunk.
Yeah, we're 26 watching Kung Fu. Like, no, I can do that.
Have you dunked?
Once in my life.
Have you ever
in
dunked?
practice?
No.
I can. The closest I got, I could touch the rim, but it wasn't even the real part. It was the part.
So no, you've never dunked.
That's dunking.
Yeah. I touched the backboard one time.
That's dunking. Yeah.
That was probably the best day of my high school life.
When you touched the net?
When I could get to the part that comes down to the rim.
Oh, where they put the net in.
Yeah.
Those little pieces?
Like there's the rim, and then there's that little, the rim's orange, and then the part that connects to the backboard. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean the base.
The base! Or the wire, whatever. That part. It was a real big
greatest day of my high
day.
school.
Real big day at the Sparks household.
Babe, we got us an athlete.
Was Kung Fu big in the Mexican culture?
No, it was anime at
was it?
my generation. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z was big.
What about I remember reading one time that Morrissey was big in like the Latin American community.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I missed it, but that was, I don't know.
Who's Morrissey?
Morrissey was the singer for the Smiths, who was like an 80s British band, late 70s, 80s British band. Really good, kind of like original, I don't even know how to call it, rock. There was no genre, but then Morrissey went solo, but he's like a white guy from England who then somehow, like Kung Fu with black people, tapped into like the Latin American community in America. Do you have any idea how?
He was backed by the cartel.
Could be. I really don't know anything about him. In fact, I didn't hear a lot about Morrissey until I became friends with Chris Gethard, who was like a huge fan and had a tattoo of Morrissey across his arm. And then Morrissey said some things. I don't even know what, but then Chris covered that tattoo up.
Oh,
so
he got canceled?
I don't know what he said. I don't know.
He said Doritos was better than Takis. He was like, get the fuck out of here. Let me ask you something before we move on.
Yeah.
As a Mexican American, how do you feel about Selena's killer wanting to parole? That stupid bitch.
If she gets it, she won't
She
survive.
won't make it a day.
A day.
She won't.
Yeah.
People to this day still want her dead for killing
Yeah.
Selena.
Yeah.
That is wild. Selena is literally one of the biggest Mexican artists I've ever seen and ain't been here in almost 30 years.
There's been like 3 different adaptations of her story, and she had like lived for like so little
She
time.
was 23
People
years old.
love her.
She would have been bigger than any pop star we've seen.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think she realizes Yolanda Saldivar is her name. I don't think she realizes she's not safe outside of prison.
No. If you made it 30 years in prison, this is as safe as it gets. Because
yeah.
out here
Yeah.
in Texas, you going to get put down.
Yeah.
She was the head of her fan club, right?
Yeah.
Am I remembering right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And got
And
accused
stole
of stealing.
money, yeah.
And so then came back and shot her. And now you want parole? Motherfucker.
I was in Austin a year ago, and we were in a bar, and there was a Selena tribute band playing.
Whoa.
Unbelievably good.
Yeah.
And I was like, every one of these songs is amazing. I didn't know much. I mean, I knew who Selena was, but I couldn't have told you like the music. It's insanely good.
Yeah.
No, she was really talented. Only reason I know her whole story is because the movie used to come on VH1 like every weekend. But I was a fan.
Classic.
And she was fine as hell.
And you got Richie Valens, too. He died in the 50s. Wasn't he Mexican
Is
American?
that La Bamba?
Yeah.
Yeah.
La 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 Bamba.
It took everybody down.
We lose our stars early. Yeah.
He's also from Texas, right?
We lose our stars. Early.
I don't know.
Texas was part of Mexico back in the 60s.
I don't believe that's true. In the 1960s.
A few years ago, yeah.
A few years ago.
And Joe Rogan came and they were like, okay, we'll make
Now
it.
it's
He got them their freedom. Yeah, he got them their freedom.
He's like, I'll pay you $1,500 for 10 minutes. So, all right, you can be part
give
of
me
our
America.
country. All right.
Nice.
Last question. Oh, here we go. This is one for everybody. This is Courtney from Germany.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Oh, yeah, look at you. She says, I did a semester abroad this year at Temple University in Philadelphia and discovered that Americans talk so much about issues they don't understand.
She irritating John.
She said the economy, global politics, even, and then in quotes, she says soccer. Where do you all get this unfounded confidence?
Because we're America. And until you dominate the Olympics, Germany, you ain't got nothing to say to us.
It's called World War II.
Domination.
That's where we get the confidence.
Y'all brought this on yourself. We ain't tell you to side up with them motherfuckers.
Grandpa
Look, lady,
Sparks, go
lady,
ahead.
She came here.
Right.
Yeah.
She came to us.
You gonna come to this country, you gonna speak our language. Shit.
Not only that, you came to Temple University.
Right.
Not exactly Ivy League.
Easy. I know a couple people went to Temple.
Hey, go Owls. I
They're
like
fairly
Temple.
intelligent.
I'm just saying. Here's the point. I think World War II, that's where we got our confidence.
That's
right?
exactly because before World War II, everybody was shook, scared of Japan. Japan was out here running shit. It's a tiny island. 6 million of them motherfuckers.
They were running the United States. History according to Phil Duckett.
First of all, you can fact check this on TikTok. Let me tell you, Japan was a powerhouse. And guess what? When we fucking smashed them, that was game over.
Wait, we also smashed Germany. Yeah, it was a two-pronged. How about that? Going around the world both ways and meeting in the middle.
Ask Japan or Germany who had it worse.
Oh, you mean with the
we
bombs?
dropped 2 motherfucking bombs on their ass. Yeah, no. I'm telling you, they went to computers immediately after that. It was like, oh, we didn't know we was playing in
They
varsity.
started minding their P's and Q's.
It was like, we got an app called Uber coming out in 70 years.
They imported Elvis immediately.
Yeah.
They're like, we love America.
Why do you fuck with the Breck, man? And it was like, well, we killed it. So I think that's where it is. You know?
My grandpa fought in World War II. And look at that, man.
Oh, wow, where?
Yeah, in the ocean somewhere.
Nice.
I was like, you
Navy.
American. I'm like, Mexico
Yeah.
was in World War
Yeah,
II too?
American,
he's
Mexican
from-
American.
he's from-
Yeah.
He was born after Joe Rogan.
But let me tell you, if I don't know
Over
much,
Texas.
but if it was World War II and he was Mexican and didn't look white, he was cooking just like the black people was during the war. They weren't letting us shoot no motherfucking guns during World War II. We was cooking.
Really?
Yeah, unless you like a red tail, like a Tuskegee Airman. They were one of the first people they let like go to war and fly shit. Black people in those early wars, they were kitchen. They were the help. They were military, but they didn't let them like fight with whites unless it was like an all black battalion.
That almost sounds. My grandpa was front lines in Normandy, so I think cooking would have been better. He was getting shot at by Nazis.
Well, at the time, y'all were like the smartest, most intelligent, most athletic people they had ever seen. So y'all went frontline. We probably could have ended that war about 30 years earlier if they put some black people.
30 years.
A couple of brothers would have been out there. They're like, you know what? We actually want to play golf today.
30 years. Oh my God. All right. That's it. One last thing to do before we get to Patreon. We got White Lies and Dark Truths. This is the part of the show, Martin, where everything we've just said, Joe fact checks us on it to tell us what we got right, what we got wrong.
I forgot to do it.
Oh!
It's all right, because guess what? We didn't speak one line today.
Wait, can I do one? The World War II wasn't a 30-year war? Can I just start there?
Well, I think everybody knows I was exaggerating. I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
It was actually 26 years. That's why they called it the Great War.
That was World War I was the Great War.
Oh, now you're fucking history.
I think before World War II, though, Japan was kind of a quaint sort of country, right? With paper houses and...
And that needs to be fact checked because that is complete.
No.
Japan was like one of the scariest, biggest nations. They had the craziest navy. They had the best air force. Japan was nasty.
They were trying to take over China. They were in half of China. The rape of Nanjing happened before we entered the war.
Which is wild.
They were not a polite paper house. What did you say? They lived in paper mache homes?
Paper mache houses. No.
Apparently that house is made out of rape.
Oh, boy. That's the episode.
We're going to edit that for sure.
That is it. Martin, everybody check it out. The Apology Comeback Tour available now on YouTube. What's up, Japanese audience?
It was made with rape. It's crazy.
We hate to see you go. Give us another chance. We'll be back next week. Just come on. We're nice people.
Was that a play on tape?
The rape of Nantucket. That's what he said.
Not Nantucket, right? And that's in Massachusetts.
There's a poem made about the rape of Nantucket.
No,
right?
there once was a man from Nantucket.
Yeah,
It was the rape of Nanjing.
Are we still on the air? That's it.
Straight into the Patreon.
Stay black.
You've got a question, but you're scared to ask. Just drop the boys a message, cause they're up to the task. They're rolling the dice, they ain't always nice, but you can't think twice when giving black and white advice. Black and white advice.
Now Taxes is 100% free when you file in the TurboTax app if you didn't file with us last year.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just do your own taxes in the app by 2/18.
What if I have lots of forms?
All good, all 100% free.
What if I had 3 jobs?
Still 100% free.
What if I once saw Bigfoot?
That has nothing to do with taxes, so still 100% free.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now this is taxes. See if you qualify in the TurboTax app. Excludes TurboTax Live, must start and file in app by 2/18.